Today's episode is sponsored by Salvaged Records, who have just dropped 2 brand new releases in their store. The first is Unsafe House by Sandcrawler, which you can pre-order on cassette. If you like sludgy, doomy guitars layered over pounding drums, this is everything you need. But if you're looking to pair that up with some classic-sounding screamo, you can pick up the first ever vinyl release of Coma Regalia's 7th full-length album, Il Evectes. And don't forget to check out the rest of the site, as they also have releases from Rotting in Dirt, Osceola, Orca, Boston Marriage, and many, many more. Stop by salvagedrecords.limitedrun.com today. Hello, and welcome to Everything Remade, a podcast that I hope is about growth as much as it is about music. I'm Edie Quinn, and we have a great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, though, I'd like to remind you about our Patreon page at patreon.com/humanmachine, where you can go to sign up and support the show, read comics, get music sneak peeks, and so much more. That's patreon.com/humanmachine. And now, I'd like to play something for you. You're hearing Your Beauty is a Broken Mirror Reflection by Depression Nap, featuring my pal, Matt Tomashek, on guitar and vocals. The song comes from their debut release, which is a 2-song 7-inch that should be out early 2026.
Well, my dad was a drummer, and so I kind of grew up around drums, and my parents were really supportive and cool about music early on, so I kind of started being around that, and then I had an older brother who would bring home the cool music, because my parents didn't really listen to anything that I even listen to today. My mom was into Whitney Houston and Michael Bolton, and then my dad was into Steely Dan. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just that that's not music that really I guess excites kids right away. I mean, some other kids grow up around the Beatles and stuff. That wasn't really my thing. I kind of got into the bands I listen to now through my older brother. So honestly, when you were kind of asking that question, the first album that came to mind is when the first time I listened to Slipknot, self-titled on CD. My brother brought that home, and that kind of that definitely was the album where I was I think I want to be a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then before that though, it's really funny. The first really it's kind of weird. The first punk or really thing I ever got into really was probably Cannibal Corpse through watching Ace Ventura as a kid. Yeah, I saw that, and I was getting into drums, and I was maybe 5-6 years old or something, and I remember seeing that blast beat at the beginning, and I was whoa, this is really cool. And so from the get-go, I've always really heavy music. I love soft music, electronic music, all different types of stuff. But I think maybe kind of getting into Slipknot and Deftones early on, when I was a really youngster, around 8-9, was kind of the catalyst to make you want to do music. And then that's kind of a stepping stone. You get into other stuff.
Yeah. For real, drums are they're such an explosive instrument that it clicks with you in a different way than guitars. Guitars are I think I played guitar mostly for a really long time before I ever even touched a drum set. But when I was little, that's what I wanted to do too. I wanted to be a drummer, and
Yeah.
it's just there's something that's just more like it. I don't know. It feels like you can do it, in a way that like, which is ironic because like I definitely found guitar way easier to just do, you know. But like drums, just like you watch somebody do it and you it clicks, even though like getting there
Yeah,
physically later can be challenging.
you definitely need a drive to be a drummer, like because obviously it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the opposite for me. I started playing drums first, and then I got into guitar. I didn't start playing guitar. I just turned 37, and I didn't start playing guitar until I was like 30, 31.
Okay, I was gonna ask about that later, but like, yeah, because on the Humid releases, you've done all the instruments, and
Yeah, except for bass. My friend Sam, who records the Humid stuff at his house, plays bass. But I do, yeah, the drums, vocals, and
okay,
guitar. I write
okay,
all
I
the
saw
songs.
there was credits on one, but I thought that was only on one of them, but Sam did it on all of them.
Yeah, yeah, he played
Oh,
bass on
okay,
all of them.
okay. Is that something that you just like? Do you just not have a bass? Do you not play bass, or you were just
No,
like, no, Sam's
so
good?
like Sam, yeah, Sam's a great bass player. I can't play bass. It kind of just it fell into that way with recording with him. Because we recorded all three of those albums at his house. He's got a really cool like little studio, and he he wanted to like play on the album, and he also played some guitar, I think, on the album as well. I think one or two of the albums, and yeah, like I I just played like the instruments because I don't really have like a concrete lineup with Humid. Like Sam's been in the band like since the beginning, and it's just kind of been me and him and a rotating like cast of like members and stuff. And so yeah, that's kind of just how it's been. Like that's the first like kind of band I've ever done something with that. So it was kind of a challenge I wanted to do, and I liked it. It's pretty liberating to do that kind of stuff by yourself.
Yeah, because I've seen live photos where you are playing drums, and then I've seen live
Yeah,
photos
yeah.
where you're
I've
playing
had to
guitar.
fill in the gaps. Like
Yeah,
we went on tour last year, but we didn't have a drummer, so I played drums, I did vocals and stuff.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that it's it's really like to 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 be in a project where you're more or less like the songwriter, and so it's like you can have these other people who can come and go, like
Yeah,
when it works for them as well as when it works for you,
yeah,
and then that can be a lot of fun, even though like like depending on how much time you have or whatever, it can be stressful, but that can be a lot of fun to just be like, well, I guess I'm playing drums this time, like,
yeah. It's definitely been interesting.
yeah,
Like the scope with like doing Humid is I wanted to like do guitar and vocals and stuff, but kind of when was in a pinch and I didn't have anyone, I was like, I'll play drums and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love drums, I love guitar, I love bass. I mean, I don't know, I like them all.
yeah. My original line of questioning with the bass thing is, because sometimes I feel like when I've done the other tracking, like if it's something that I am committed to doing more or less entirely by myself or whatever, like when I've done the other tracking, like because it's probably the wrong way to do it, but I'll do the drums, of course, first, just like dry. I won't have reference tracks or, really I'll
Uh-huh.
just record them. And then I'll record the guitars, and I'll record both guitars, like left
Uh-huh.
and right guitars. And sometimes even like if I just have other guitars that I want to do, I'll record all the guitars. And then
Oh, okay.
maybe even some vocals, like if it's just like something I'm still working through and something hits me, like then I'll record the
Yeah.
vocal on the spot so I don't forget it.
Right.
But then I'll do the bass last. And like sometimes I actually like the thing is like, and maybe this is where my question was going, is like sometimes once I've done all those guitars, once I've driven this into my brain so much, I find it really hard to be creative with the bass. Like
Hmm.
I'm just like I know how this goes, and I'm like I'm not letting this instrument do its own thing. I'm just like
Yeah.
parroting the guitars or whatever. And so I will leave. I'll drop it and I'll come back to it later so I can like kind of forget some stuff, or at least the muscle memory of all those guitar tracks I
Hmm.
just did fades or whatever. So that's why I was like, like, were you just looking for another perspective, like after you
Yeah,
wrote all these things?
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like interesting to have like another set of ears on it.
Hmm.
But I was definitely looking to like kind of like have someone to collaborate stuff with.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to playing bass in that project or something if I had to one day. But yeah, definitely like the focus was to play guitar. And at this point with that project, I don't really have a full band, so I'm kind of just doing like I've been playing like just shows by myself with just guitar. And it's a little bit more like stripped down, a little bit more like slowcore,
Hmm.
kind of leaning with just guitar and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like another side of the project. And that's what's been kind of nice about doing Depression app is like it's a completely like it's a polar opposite of that.
Hmm. And we said before we started recording, like you do guitar and vocals in that as well.
Yeah.
Was that just like because you already knew like a drummer that you wanted to work with, or were you like, I want to play guitar and do vocals in another band, but I want it to be totally different?
Yeah. So I've been working on songs for Depression app for about 2 years now. And I knew I wanted to do a band that was more heavy, more aggressive at some point. And I connected with Tyler Mance, and he said that he had a drummer kind of lined up, and I didn't know it was Adam. And so when I knew it was Adam, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So we ended up starting to practice early this year in January, and I don't know. It just we started like kind of clicking pretty good in practices, and we eventually like we have like about 5, 6 songs that we've been playing, and we played 2 shows so far, and I'm really like happy with how it's going and stuff, and yeah, that's kind of how it came together so far.
Yeah. Now you said you have like 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah.
The single that you released, your Bandcamp page says releases January 2026. What does that mean? And because also there's like I'm not sure if if the Bandcamp is implying that there's 2 songs. Like
Yeah, there
what
is.
is yeah,
Um,
what's that all about?
yeah, so it's I don't know, like I think you need like Bandcamp Pro to be able to have like all the songs listed, but only have certain songs being like able to be played. I kind of looked at it and I wasn't able to figure it out because I don't have a Bandcamp Pro account.
Right.
So I kind of just have we have that single up there right now. But yeah, we're putting out a 7 inch early next year, and the release date is tentatively at the end of January. And yeah, we're gonna probably put out another single. And it's just a 2 song 7 inch with some songs that were recorded in September.
Oh, okay. So the name of it, that's the 2 songs that are there, and then like you can hear one of them
Yeah, the
now.
second
And
song. Yeah, the second
yeah.
song is Corpse Dysmorphia. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, it's I was just having this conversation with Drew from It Happened One Night earlier today. I was like, putting out a 7 inch in 2026 is
Uh huh.
wild.
It is. Yeah, a little bit.
Because like I don't know how involved you are with this part of the process, and I don't know if maybe there's just other options available now that are better or whatever. But the last time I
Uh huh.
tried to price a 7 inch, like it was as much to make a 7 inch as it was to make a 12 inch. So it was
Yeah.
like You
Yeah, it's
know,
not too much more cheaper.
yeah, it's
That was
wild.
like the vision I had from the get go when I wanted to do something for release. I was like, I really want to put a 7 inch out.
Yeah. Is it I mean, you've done that before. You've had 7 inches,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, my first real band was a hardcore band called Armada, and we had a 7 inch out,
yeah.
and I got to design that and stuff. And that was my first like time like getting my feet wet with like putting out a record. Like I designed like the whole layout, insert, and labels, and then I actually sat in on like the mastering process. It was like all of like a 4 or 5 minute like 7 inch, you know. Because it
Yeah.
was like that band was like a fastcore, hardcore band. Like we were clocking like 7 songs in like 6 minutes, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was
But that was your
so like that was
baby.
my first time putting out like a vinyl record.
Yeah. So you're like, I need to know as much about this. Like, I need to be hands on
Well,
for
like
sure.
yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
got like super into collecting vinyl records like around 2009, 2010, and you know how it is. You kind of get like the vinyl bug, and you like, you start wanting to buy them, and
Yeah.
then
I
you're like,
mean,
oh, maybe I want to start putting them out.
yeah, I've always loved everything about like like vinyl and tapes, and
Yeah.
I've loved CDs as well for like different reasons. Although, like, eventually I would get to the same place with CDs, which is like I I I really like how in punk and screamo and everything, like, we've taken it upon ourselves to say, like, what this is the thing that we made, like, this is the record, this is
Hmm.
the tape, this is whatever, but like everybody else just puts this in like a jacket, but like, what can we do with it? And that's the part that I've always really really liked about all this stuff. And
Yeah, you can get really creative.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, not that's not to say that there's anything wrong if you just like slap your record in a, you know, in a fold over and drop some lyrics in there. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like that, that's where my sort of like collected like collector nature came from, was like, oh, have you seen this one that's got this like cut out, like, and or this one that like folds over itself like 5 times? Oh, that's so awesome, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun getting into DIY punk. You can collect some cool stuff like that.
For sure. And then there's like, yeah, of course there's like the other thing where it's like with Gleam, like y'all had that sort of like neon sprite, like
Yeah, the highlighter yellow.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
that variant name. I'll always remember that variant name because it's one of
yeah,
my favorite. They still have it, I think, as like a color to choose from.
yeah.
A
And
highlighter yellow. Yeah, that
it
was
was
so cool looking.
it was always like anytime anybody like saw that I had that record in my distro, they'd be like, "Do you have do you have the highlighter yellow one as well?" And I'd be
Oh,
like, "No." Because like that's the one everybody wanted. Like, I had 10
that's funny.
copies of this. I had like 4 of them on that, and they were gone
Yeah,
immediately. Like, because it
yeah,
fit with the art so well, and stuff like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I had a good time doing the art for that too. We found like the photographer. I've randomly found that like picture on like a stock image like website, but I found out like it had like a photographer credit, and I ended up like reaching out to the photographer, and they were really cool about it, and so I was able to use the photo.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I
But
just
yeah,
assumed that like that someone in the band or something had taken it, but yeah,
no, I wish it was that cool.
but that's wild though. It's just like like a like kind of like a one of those font sites where it's like, hit up the person who designed this font, like drop them a
Yeah,
tip or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented people putting out art out there for free like use. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So like, stepping way back to, where we first started this conversation, you get into Slipknot, you decide, hey, I'm gonna learn how to play drums. Like, what's that look like for you? Like, you had to save up money to get a drum set. It was like a Christmas present. Like, how'd this all get started?
Yeah, like luckily my dad was like a drummer, so like there's already like a drum set at home to kind of like bang on.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, yeah, like I think my dad helped me get my first drum set. I remember it was like a Thomas Star Classic, and I think I was like really like into Tama drums because I remember like I was like I'm still really a huge Deftones fan. I know the drummer of Deftones plays Tama, and so that was like a big draw. Like I was like always super into like playing like the brands that my favorite drummers like played. Like I really like Metallica and Slipknot, and their drummers played like those stupid head sticks, like the fiberglass ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like those sticks, but when I was a kid, I thought they were really cool, and so I'd buy those or whatever. But now, I mean, I look back, I think that's kind of silly, but that's just how you kind of get into music and you kind of find your own aesthetic, your own groove, and yeah, I mean, you know how it goes. Like you kind of get into one band, and then I had like a friend like that lived down the street who like got me into like a bunch of other bands. Like he'd like give me to Rob Zombie and stuff. Like just whatever we heard like on the radio, and like his like parents let him buy whatever CDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was like real strict on what I listened to, but my dad wasn't. So like my dad would like let me like buy CDs, and I just hide them in my room, whatever, and listen to them whatever.
When you were talking about those sticks, it's funny.
Oh God, they're horrible.
I don't know if I told this story on here before, but it's pretty funny. Like, so this band was playing at my house once. They were called Sutek Conspiracy. They were cool. Their drummer Pete used those sticks,
Uh huh.
and he broke one. Like
Oh man,
at
you
during
can break them, yeah.
yeah. I mean, he said that he had them forever. He
Yeah.
broke one, and he was just like, well, that fucking sucks, and just sort of threw them on the floor and like
Uh-huh.
left them there. And I was like, Pete, do you not want that other stick? Because the other one's not broken. And he was like, you can't buy them like one by one. You have to buy them in a set. And I was like,
Yeah, they come in like a little set.
yeah. And I was like, so you're not just gonna use one? And he was like, no, the weight like is way off. Like with you can't do that. And I was like, so can I have it? And because when I first started drumming, especially, I was breaking sticks constantly, and
Yeah, definitely.
so I was using one of those and one regular stick to like save
Oh
money for
man,
like
you're
ever.
like a bionic arm.
I just was like one of
Backwards.
these and one regular one, and I was so new to drums, it made no
Yeah.
difference to me. I had no,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah. And so I had this like stick, and we would go and play shows, and our band was so fucking weird anyway. Like like when we showed up, people were like, so who's in the band and who's just like here? Because we just looked
Yeah.
like fucking weirdos, and like we all acted totally different, and we were,
No.
and then like I'm back there just like with one of these and one regular stick, and people are like, how do you, and I'm just like, I don't know the difference. Like I'm just so started playing like 3 months ago. But yeah, good times. I wish I still had that. I never broke it. I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember. But
Yeah, those sticks were interesting. Like I mean, you can get away with like playing with like a wood pair with nylon tip, and then those because they had nylon tips.
yeah,
But the
I
worst thing about the sticks is the tips would break. Just a tip.
I just played it backwards. Like, because I
Oh
didn't
hell
like
yeah.
the nylon tips at all, so I just played it backwards. And so
Yeah,
I
I would
remember,
only play backwards when my stick was broken live, and I didn't like want to like change it real quick.
yeah, I
That's the
was
only time I
playing
do
it.
it.
I was playing it with my left hand, so I was hitting my snare with the back end of
Oh,
this,
okay.
and it was like, I thought like I was really doing I thought I was like putting up numbers, you know. I thought I was really cracking that thing, like, and I guess
Yeah.
I probably was, but you know,
Yeah.
it was a good time. It was a silly band,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, you know, when we first start something, and we have all these like preconceived notions of like, well, these must be the best because this person uses them, and you know, and like, you know, sure, there's some like validity to that, but do you still use, like, are you still like a, like, oh, I only play Tama, or
Oh, no, like I played when I was playing drums in the States, I had like a Yamaha
oh, okay.
kit that I bought that I loved. It was like a big kit. It had like a 24 kick and like a an 18 floor and
Oh,
like a four. Yeah, it was like a big kit.
yeah.
And then I've had yeah, I've had a Tama before. The first kit I technically had that I really regrets selling was an old Slingerland.
Mm,
I had a really my dad had like an old Slingerland that he let me play, and he eventually let me have it. But it was just kind of like not my thing. It was just how it sounded. It was kind of like a jazz kit. But
mm-hmm.
obviously now I wish I would have kept it because it's like a vintage. You know, there's some memories attached to it. And it's like a vintage kit, but you know I sold it to like a friend, and they didn't take care of it, and never saw that again.
Oh,
But now I just get whatever brands like basically A I can afford and B that I think sound good. Like for amps like and cabs, I'm a big Ampeg fan. I love like those amps.
mm-hmm.
Um I do enjoy Marshall. Like right now in Depression Amp, like I just play like a Marshall valve state head. And the only reason I play that is because I was kind of like recommended it by a friend. They're like, well, like, you know, like bands like Death and Meshuggah like play through like just like the head tone. And that's kind of like where like a lot of depression app derived from was like I really like death metal and the depression app's not a death metal band but like there's some influence there a little bit with it and I kind of use that sort of as like the start like kind of like you know a starting point with like kind of finding a tone and like it like you know a vibe imagery and stuff so I
Mm-hmm.
do like all the art and I do like all like the graphic design stuff for like you know the bands I'm usually in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I have to. It's just usually the role like I've fallen into because you know not everyone you play in a band with is like savvy with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, like, you um there, it has to be done, right? And like,
Most
as a
definitely.
as a band, you're like, you're like, well, we, you know, so like a lot of times you know, pay somebody to record you, and you got to do this, and then
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
we don't, you know, we barely got home with the gas we made from that show, so like, how am I
Yeah.
gonna have $100 to pay somebody to do the like cover as well? So like, that was my whole thing at first, was it's, number one, it's like, who other than the people in the band are going to know what this should look like in the first
Yeah.
place, right? And then it's just like, I don't know. I've always kind of been like, I'll take something that somebody did in the band, like, and put that on the cover over
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
over the most amazing artist that was just like, this is a cool thing that I did. Like,
Uh huh.
you know, like, I will always, like, you know, like, peep the fuck out of everybody's art, like,
Hmm.
but like, when it, I don't know, I just feel weird about that, like, sometimes, like, it's like, I'm sure that like a lot of bands are like, we want this, and then the artist delivers it, and that's like, you know, we're getting there, right? But like,
Hmm.
I don't know, I've just always thought like, yeah, this is like, there's some weird thing that happens, like, when a band has done the thing, and I feel like that's when you see something where you're like, I don't know, that makes sense more than anything that, like,
Right.
I don't know, but I'm not explaining that very well. But what one thing that
No,
I did
I
think,
get what you mean.
yeah, one thing that I did think was like wild though, is like, you've talked before, you're talking about like depression nap, like, you're coming from this from a place of like death metal tones and like, like the imagery and stuff. And then like I when I first saw the name depression nap, I was like, I thought I was going to get something that was like closer to estates, or like just by the name. So like,
Right.
were you like, are you trying to mess with people's expectations with the name and the imagery? Like, do you feel like they're like, like not like, not like subverting expectations, or were you looking to do that with this combination of things, or was it
I
just
kind of
like,
had the name. I've had the name for a while, and I don't know. Like I thought the name was kind of like something I was just going for. I kind of wanted a name that was like just slightly like unsettling, but like not nothing too serious.
mhm.
And kind of just like rolled with it because you know how hard it is to come up with like project names and stuff.
I actually
And
have a file with like 50 of them. So like I'm the actually the wrong, like, yeah. Every time I'm in a project and after it goes for a while, I'm like, I can send you the file and you can pick something. And like sometimes it's like that's how like 5 of my projects have been named. Sometimes people are
that's cool.
like, I don't like any of
Yeah.
these, and I'm like, fair. But
I mean, it's better to have like, and it's better to have ideas and no ideas. And that's kind of how like it always is with all my projects. I have a vision. Like I have a vision. I had a vision for estates. Have a vision for humid. Have a vision for depression app. Like there's stuff like I want to do. There's like a certain way I want to do things. Certain way I want my music to sound. How I want people to listen to my music. Like for example, like I don't really plan on putting depression app on really any major streaming services other than Bandcamp.
mhm,
Why? Because it's just like, what's the point? Like we're a small band. I mean, we just started, and I'd rather just have someone pick up a record, or like if they want to listen on Bandcamp, cool.
mhm. Yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah, it's um I think for sure that like it's really interesting, like how much like, we put all this effort and stuff into making the physical thing, and then a lot of times the physical
Yeah,
thing is like the last thing to get the love, you know
yeah,
and
it's a lot of work too,
yeah.
and it's a labor of love for sure. Like I just like I'm actually finishing up doing like the layout right now for like the 7 inch we're putting out, and Um, that's kind of came later because it's just taken me a while to kind of figure out what I want to do. Like I just didn't want to put just anything together. I want to put something together that I'm gonna be like super proud of, and that I was into. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, I always have a vision with like, something like I want it to kind of look like this. I kind of like I always like go with color schemes. Like, oh, like I want this color to be like black red, or this color to be like green black or white red, whatever. That usually kind of helps me like kind of figure out art and stuff.
Does that come to you in these like in the songwriting or the recording like process, or does that come to you just like later when you're listening to the thing as a whole?
Usually like when I'm like starting to like listen to mixes and stuff and or masters, I'll start like kind of getting like little fragments of what I want to do for like a cover, or like what I want to do for like if I want to do a promo like with my band or something,
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, like you're an
Yeah.
artist, you kind of get it. Like it's just like things just pop in your head and you kind of roll with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I I try to approach, even if it is one consistent project over 15 years or whatever, like Coma Regalia, I try to approach everything in a novel way. I try to find a focal point and say, okay, this is what we're doing, and sometimes that specifically is like, I'll be like, all right, this is this is this color, like, and I'll write the songs with that in mind. And um it's kind of it's kind of it's funny, like we're talking about like the art process, and we're talking about like the, the effort that goes, and this falls in that same thing as well, where I think that like I'm like I wrote this specific album, and I was like had this very specific orange in mind, like when I was doing
Yeah.
this, and like that means nothing to anyone else, you know? Like,
No, yeah. I mean,
and
I feel like, I mean, any sort of like album cover, like there's obviously like some type of muse behind that or
yeah,
whatever, whoever uh, drew it or took the photo of, like, there's always some inspiration
yeah,
there.
and like I want to clarify that I don't think that it should necessarily mean, or that I'm not trying to say people aren't getting it or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
even implying that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's like you go all through all this in your head, and you have all these like, you're like, I was doing this specific thing in this specific way, and then
No.
people listen to it and they're like, sick screamo song, I fuck with this, and that's the end of the line, and like that's totally
Yeah.
fine, but like it's just funny how we get so cerebral with some of this stuff, and it's just like great song,
I
you know.
mean, like when you put out like an album, it's technically, your baby.
Yeah.
It's your creation. So, it's easy to like overthink it and to like, want to like nitpick every detail. And it's funny, like, I grew up in like the era of like going to the CD store, and what you came out with, man, if that CD sucked, you're fucked, man. Like you're stuck with
Yeah.
it. Like, so, I'm really like, an album cover goes a long way with me. And so I've gotten into so many albums just by looking at album covers. I'm like, this album cover is sick. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And so, that's just how it is. So I'm not saying every album cover I like do is a banger or something. I'm just saying that I like really try to like put as much effort as possible into like what I am like displaying as like, a cover for like the music I put out. And I think, it's important to sort of like, put your time and effort into all that.
Yeah. I think that there's something to be said about like, I've always been like, I want you to be able to pick this out of like, uh, uh the big thing for a while was the 5x5s or whatever. I want, for better or worse, I want this to be undeniable. Like, you won't glaze past this. Like, you'd be like, what
Yeah.
the, that's fucking wonky as hell. Like, what is that? And like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not even like, I don't know. It's just like there there can be, in any era, no matter like how much you fuck with like the aesthetics of a particular era, the 90s, when all this shit started, was for sure guilty of that. But like the aesthetics become like so typical, like it's that you're just
Yeah.
you feel like you're looking at the same package like 10 times in a row, and
Yeah, there's a lot of tropes in music,
right. And
A lot of bands, like, I don't know, like some bands I think just want to be in that mold. Some bands don't want to be in that mold. I don't know. I'm not really sure like what drives like certain bands to want to like, kind of like, do the art they want to do or like do like whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, a lot of like genres kind of have like a similar like art style. Like, I mean, I also listen to a lot of black metal, and as you can imagine,
There
like
you
a lot
go.
of black
Yeah.
and white covers I
Yeah.
see, and dudes standing in woods and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's just kind of like. And then when like a black metal like album comes out with like a different cover or something, like a lot of people meme on it and stuff. Just because it's not like the traditional thing. Like there's still stuff like that. It's never gonna go away.
Yeah. The thing
Um,
that is, the thing that's always like, to me, that like I've always been like I feel like I get in my own way a lot. Like if I just was like, if I just hired somebody, if I just paid somebody to do like a thing that's like fits more in line with what's coming out of the speakers or whatever, then like I feel like it's like people would gravitate to it more. Like
Yeah.
because like we're all like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's like exactly like you see the album cover first and then the
Yeah.
music comes, and like I don't know, like psychologically there's got to be something there, right, where it's like
Yeah, definitely.
if you're triggering some kind of disconnect there, it's like you're doing something like that some I we've come to expect this, like, and I don't know what I'm getting out of this, and like I don't know. I've always just thought, like if I just did things the way people wanted them, then I wouldn't be in my own way so much. But like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the other nonsense that I've already talked about is more important to me. So it's like it's whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. It's like it's interesting when you start like you know I mean, there's a reason why, like, comic books and stuff, why they have a totally different cover artist do the covers. It's like the covers look awesome,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
people buy them,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Heading away from what we knew. I'm parallel parked in the avenue. Your lips said goodbye, you're not saying goodbye. You said this is for sure. I'm not saying it's right. The light on your porch is on. I'm not coming over. I'm already gone.
there's so much to, like, making music, like, doing, all of the things, like, where you just, like, eventually you just, like, I just want people to listen to this and enjoy it, And,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
yeah. So, like, when we sort of got to know each other initially, it was you were in Estates, and I think like I don't think we crossed paths too much, but like we definitely like played at least one show, probably
I
one.
think we definitely played Skeletal Lightning Fest
Yeah,
together.
that's when I can remember specifically.
And maybe one show in Milwaukee or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, like, were there anything other than like that fest? But
There's a lot of shows around then. I don't know.
when Estate sort of like wrapped up, what were you up to, like, between the end of Estates and then when Humid starts? Because like that's where like my blind spot in your discography is.
Yeah, I mean, there was really nothing going on.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of like, you call it a funk, I guess. Like, I've been like funks before, like with music. Yeah, like I think States ended around like 2018, whatever, and then nothing was really going on, and then like COVID was a thing, and I didn't even know if like music was ever going to be like the same after that. And so once shows like started kind of getting together, again, like I like coincidentally started like playing guitar, and I had a bunch of ideas for like songs, and I really wanted to do a shoegaze band. And so yeah, I kind of like forced myself to play guitar like every day, and just sort of like try to find a style that I'm comfortable with. And Yeah, I mean, it took a while for me to like start, doing estates or start doing humid.
Yeah. Do you feel like being a drummer already, like, did that kickstart your guitar playing in a way that,
Yeah, it's nice to have like rhythm, like some natural rhythm, like to help you play guitar, and so I have like a general understanding like how to like read tabs from playing like bass because I technically like I started playing drums first, and then I remember I got a bass when I was in like junior high, and I didn't play it for too long, but I did like learn how to play like, certain like songs, and so like I do have like I had like a rhythm to begin with, and so when I started guitar, it just kind of like it sort of came together a little easier than I expected, just because like I had like experience playing music already.
you said that you were getting to know your way around the guitar via like tabs and stuff.
Yeah,
Did you also like, do you have like a pretty like good natural ear for it, or like, um,
it's funny. I got a good ear for like rhythm and stuff, but I can't like tune like a guitar by ear. Actually, like I'm really bad at that. Um,
yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. Like I guess like I just have an ear for like rhythm and maybe like certain like tones. I guess, but as far as like tuning and stuff, I'm really bad with that.
I get this weird ear thing, like, but this is probably just like because I'm stressing my ears out for recording too long in one setting or
Hmm.
whatever. Not that I'm like blaring or anything, but it's just like,
Yeah.
you go too long and it's like stuff doesn't make sense anymore. But I get that weird thing where like if I'm in anything but E standard, even if I'm just in drop D, like after a
Yeah.
while, specifically with the bass guitar, I'm like, I literally cannot tell if this is in tune. Like, cause it's,
Yeah.
it's, there's just something like, especially with the bass, like when you hit that string and it does that sort of
Yeah.
corn, like, plucky, like
Yeah.
nonsense. And it just starts, it's just, it's waving around a little too much to where you're like, I think this is like in tune, but like I hit it too hard. So it's like
Uh huh.
not, that first like couple of seconds of that note is like too sharp or whatever, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't, it's weird. I just like, I find it interesting, like when people are learning, like some people like how do you write specifically? Like, are you hearing like what you want to come out of the guitar before you even play the guitar, or is it like experimentation or a little bit of both?
It's a lot of like it's a lot of experimentation. Like I'll kind of just sit on my couch and like watch a movie or like watch TV, and I'll have the sound off, and I'll kind of just like start playing like random stuff. And then once I start like kind of getting like some like riffs or notes I really like, I start kind of like tying those together. And like depending on, it's kind of funny. Like I'll have like a night where I'm like, oh, we're going humid stuff tonight, or we're going depression nap stuff tonight. Like it's just kind of like it's kind of whatever like vibe I'm like feeling that night. And so
Hmm.
yeah, like I'll be like, oh, I've been wanting to write like this type of song or whatever. And so that's kind of how it goes. Obviously, like there's bands I'll be listening to at the time that are probably influencing it, and I don't even know it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. I say this a lot, and I feel like people hear it and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But like, I feel like there's like so much of the time when I play guitar, like I feel like I still, even after all these years, I have no idea what I'm doing, and like
Hmm.
I'm not bothered by that at all. Like, because
Yeah.
when I try, when I just pick up a guitar and play, like I just don't, I don't I don't want to like be bothered with anything other than like I'm enjoying this. And like what happens a lot is like I think my wife thought it was like cute when we were first getting together, like 20 over 20 years ago, but like she's probably like, oh my god, what is this person's problem? But
Yeah.
like I just I will pick up a guitar and I will start playing, and it just is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And later, I'm picking out like five things that I liked, and figuring
Yeah.
out like, but like that thing, that thing that where I will play guitar in like a line, just like that goes wherever it wants to go and does whatever it wants to do. That 10 minutes that I do this, and I literally do not stop playing, and I'm just playing whatever, whenever, and moving from thing to thing with no thought. Like, I feel so good when I'm doing
Hmm.
that. And like,
Yeah.
and sometimes I record it to see what is actually happening, and I've listened to, and like it's painful to listen to, but it's like the most fun that I've had in my life is doing
Yeah.
that, and it's so
Yeah,
weird.
definitely.
Yeah. Um but
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, it's what it's all about, it's like at the end of the day, it's whatever makes you happy, and there's really no right or wrong way to play guitar, obviously, and it's kind of fun of music.
yeah, yeah. I saw a thing yesterday, and uh, of course, like Instagram and all that, they're full of these little quotes that are lovely, and also just like an total and like total like time sink. But it was like, did you know you can just draw bad and nothing happens? Like, and it's
Yeah.
it's just that's just that's just how I like everything to be,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's awesome once you're playing with people and you get your songs down super tight, and you're all fantastic musicians. I think that's awesome. But like,
Yeah.
also, I would have never started playing guitar if that was my aspiration. Like, I was just
Right.
like, I gotta do this, like, oh my
Yeah.
god. But yeah, so like, more or less, like, Humid started because you had all these ideas, and like, especially during like lockdown and stuff, it's like, you had the time to sort of, and you released your first thing in 2021. You were saying earlier that, like, now you do a lot of stuff, like, which is just like solo, like, is that just more of like on the opportunistic side, like where if people came to you and they were like, hey, I'd be down to like play some shows with you, like, then you'd start doing that again, like,
Yeah, definitely. It's
yeah.
kind of whatever's like coming my way. Sort of like, I've been doing Humid for the past like 4 years or so, like pretty hard, and kind of like want to just sort of like shift like focus on just doing depression app at the moment.
Hmm.
And whenever, like, I do get a show offer or whatever, that like for Humid, and I want to do it, I'll obviously play. And if I can get a full band, I'll cool. If not, I'll just play by myself. It's kind of whatever I feel like doing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to like have that set group of people that like have a practice ritual and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's that's been, forever for me, and you know I would, sometimes I I'm like, damn, I need that, like, like every Tuesday we're playing music.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's a great like release, as they say.
yeah, yeah, and just something that you can like count on to, like, take your mind off of things for the 2 hours or however long you do it. And of
Yeah.
course, like, you know depending on the band, like, maybe 2 hours is a long time, like if you've only got like 6 minutes worth of songs, sometimes it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Like I remember, like some Humid practices would be about like 2 hours, then like depression app, you maybe practice for like an hour tops.
yeah.
So it
And
depends on like what you guys got going on, or if you got tour coming up, or you're recording an album. It depends on whatever.
yeah. So when the 7 inch is ready, is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to do a tour, or just like some
Yeah,
dates around the
hopefully.
Midwest?
We have nothing really planned yet, but hopefully,
next year we'll get on the road for a little bit. And yeah, it's kind of like we're just kind of taking things pretty slow at the moment and just sort of getting our name out there and doing things as we see fit.
Yeah. Is there a label or like labels involved in the releases?
No, we're just self-releasing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to press it?
We're gonna most likely go through the solid merch.
Oh, okay. You got like one of
Um,
the all-in-one kind of.
yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
like a gig package or something.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I know I have like an album that was pressed by them in my collection because I remember when I pre-ordered it, it was said it was pressed by Solid, and that's not what made me pick it up. I just knew that when I was looking for, obviously you're gonna kind of go with more or less who's affordable,
Hmm.
and they're pretty affordable, and I know they do pretty good work. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be going through them.
I don't know if this is still the case, but I'm pretty sure when they first started, they were using GZ, which is like the plant that like
Yeah,
a lot like so many labels use, and like pretty
I'm
much
not
like
sure who they
most of
use
Europe
now.
uses it. Um, but
Yeah, I know it's a really really big thing.
yeah, I have no idea. They've grown a lot since then, so they may have their own machines or they may be using.
There's also a lot of new pressing plants that have popped up in the
Uh-huh.
past 5 years. That it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many there's been it, it's wild, this format that's been around, I don't even know 100 years or whatever, like there's been so many new like developments, like as far as like the like the way that they can skip like plating and stuff now, and I don't remember what all these things are called, but it's
Oh,
like,
really? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so like the thing for a long time was it was like there's only so many of these machines that can do this like in
Yeah.
existence, and so that's why there's only like these five places to do this. And now it's
Hmm.
like, well, like we to for the as far as I know, it's like, well, we sort of like said, well, what ultimately do we need this machine to do? And so there's like
Yeah. Yeah.
new, actually like new machines and stuff that people
Yeah.
are using in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable about how the exactly the pressing works, but yeah, I've been hearing about like new pressing. I know like my friends in the band Jadewick, like they pressed their record through a new pressing plant that just opened in Memphis, like where they're from.
oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like they had they have like a new pressing plant in their backyard kind of thing, which is cool.
yeah,
Um and I know there's like a couple of like pressing plants in Chicago, which is like, closer to me and stuff. But like I said, it kind of you got a lot of these places are just a little bit out of my price range.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know.
yeah. We used a newer place, and for one of our last ones, and they made great records, and they
Uh-huh.
you know I have nothing negative to say about them, but it was like once the final price on the record came out, I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything's kind of getting that way, but like
Yeah.
but yeah, I we have a record that we've the other band that we're doing it with, they had just like a member change thing
Uh-huh.
recently, so like so it got pushed back a little bit, but they're like, they asked us to do a split, and we're like, yeah, we haven't done a split in a while, we should do that. And like, so we're like, split 12 inch, and they're like, no, split 7 inch. And I was like, oh. So as much as I was saying like how wild that is, we have committed to doing one, so I will get at I will probably try to have other labels kick in for it, at least big
Yeah.
time, if not fully. But like I will be learning all about that again
Hmm.
in the year of our Lord 2026. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really awesome that like you've sort of become rejuvenated with Depression Nap, and also that you're playing with Tyler. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
known Tyler forever, and that's awesome. I hope that we, get a chance to play a show together sometime or something. Indianapolis is like awesome right now, so whenever that happens, definitely let's try to do something.
Yeah. I'd love to.
As far as like, you know, making more music goes for Humid and Depression Nap, like where are you at with like plans for that goes for next year or beyond?
Yeah. So for like, for like Humid right now, I'm kind of just chilling with it. Like I've had a busy 4 years with it, and I like wrote like a new record and everything, and I'm just kind of just letting it sit like in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wrote like a new full length and everything over the past year. I was gonna maybe record it this year, but I'm kind of just not really in the mood to record Humid stuff this year. And like I said, I'm kind of just shifting focus right now to doing Depression Nap at the moment. And well, I'd like to hopefully do another record with Depression Nap, but yeah, we'll see what happens once we put out this like little like two song 7 inch.
Yeah. So the plan for now is like you've got like 6 songs. You said like 5 or 6, and it's like
Yeah,
release the 7 inch, go play like the shows with 5 or 6
yeah,
songs, and hey, pick up the 7 inch.
yeah, pretty much. We wanna kind of start playing some more shows, and yeah, I'd like to get us out of like Wisconsin and get us out on the road and stuff. And I just thought like it'd be really cool if we put out like a record right away. Like I'm a really big fan of like collecting records and stuff. So I want to kind of put something out, and I thought it'd be cool just to have like 2 songs for the most part, and just so it kind of gave me more time to like write these other songs and flesh them out and stuff. But yeah, I mean, just I want to just kind of just like focus on just playing some shows probably this year instead of like mostly like recording.
And that was my conversation with Matt Tomashek. Thank you so much, Matt, for taking the time to chat with me. Thanks to all of y'all for listening wherever you are as well. Don't forget to stop by patreon.com/humanmachine for more. Until next time, take care and do good things.